off with the most scientific thing we've learned from this entire disclosure, really the only science stuff. So here it is.
Investigate the phenomenon at the request of the Congress. And it was he who was authorized with all of his compartmented security clearances to go and find the codename programs that do exist that contain what he alleges involve, as we've read today in the debrief, a crash retrieval program, recovered non-human technology that is secretly held by the United States.
Why do you know it's exotic?
Based on the very specific properties that I was briefed on, isotopic ratios that would have to be engineered for it to be at those levels, but also just extremely strange, heavy atomic metal, high up in the periodic table arrangements that we don't understand, what the emergent properties are, but there's just a very strange mix of elements.
So you're absolutely sure that the materials...
I'm just going to pause it right there, because for anyone who's a real scientist, that was just like, wow. This guy said he has physics training and stuff and was heard about this stuff. But man, those descriptions were just very poor. He talked about isotopes and super heavy elements. And then he goes on to say that they're arranged in very specific patterns and stuff. But he struggles with the terminology and the wording and all of the explanation, which is, it's really, it's a bunch of gobbledygook. This is, I think, the full interview. It's posted on Need to Know. This is just, I'll share the link with the audience of where I'm playing this from. So there's the link right there. Yeah, so did he mean, physique training? Anyways, we're waiting for, the scientists and, this guy's bosses or some of these more serious people to come forward. And obviously, the mainstream media might not be the best place to do that with the way they've handled the story and other stuff so far. Anyone who's ever been involved at the mainstream media or been involved and saw what happened with a big story and sees how the media handles it knows that the media likes to lie and stretch the truth and tell a different side of the story all the time. So I'm very skeptical, when I see a whistleblower get 100,000, 100 million views in, the first 48 hours and over the weekend. Because normally real whistleblowers just get shut down and they get canned, So I tend to worry if this is not a psy-op. I'm very careful about how I approach everything nowadays. I tend to just assume that it's a psy-op until proven otherwise. But let's keep watching this.
That these craft are made of are clearly not of this earth.
Yeah, they're sophisticatedly engineered, certainly not by humans.
Well, that's super descriptive. In any case, I just want to say that, we have a website. We're trying to do a lot with disclosure. We have, I'm encouraging people to basically go to, I'm going to share the screen. If anyone knows in the department, if, the government's looking to subpoena people who know and get information, the ones that they should subpoena would be this guy, Dr. Knox Millsaps. Millsaps Jr., his dad did a whole bunch of interesting work on nitinol memory metal and space vehicles. And he wrote a paper on development of nanosatellite microcoupling mechanisms with characterization of a shape memory alloy interface joint. So they did a lot of research in these memory alloys for space applications. and connected out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and connected to the United States Navy, Naval Intelligence, and Naval Research, Office of Naval Research. So if anyone knows something that would be, this guy, his father's read into the programs, was involved in this stuff, and he is too. So yeah, definitely check out him. Check out the disclosures that have already come out, the documents and the scientists, and read up. There's plenty of scientists in here if you read through the bibliographies that could be interviewed, and we've actually gone through and tried to talk to or interview many of these experts and other experts in these fields to learn more about these types of science and the technology that's going on inside these programs. This is the Black Vault. Just type in Black Vault OSAP DIRD, or Defense Intelligence Reference Document reports. So you can find this list of the 37 DIRD reports. You can download this 87 megabyte zip file with all 37 reports and start some research there if you're interested in the real scientific aspects of this. Also, check out allpropulsion.com and check out events and people. Be sure to click this button and join APEC. Register for the conference. If you're involved in these programs, any kind of reverse engineering or crash retrieval, what we encourage you to do is take your evidence and compile it into a PowerPoint presentation using Google Slides or one of these other programs, and compile all your pictures, other information, evidence, and then send us a copy when you register, and we'll set you up with a time to present at a conference full of scientists, engineers, and academics who are open-minded to this topic and willing to offer constructive criticism to researchers, as well as listen to anyone who's on the inside that potentially has information that they feel the American people deserve to know the truth about, because certainly a lot of interesting things that we run across when investigating the science involved in this field. And certainly a lot of new people getting interested in that science and wanting to learn more and find out more information about science and how it relates to UFO technologies, whether or not the technologies came from UFOs or whether this came from other sources and stuff. So it's important to know the history, to know the real science, and to dig into these topics. So that's all I have to say, really. The APEC presentation. No, we're not going to have them speak in layman's terms, man. This is a technical conference for technical people. If they want to speak in layman's terms, they can go to the mainstream media, or I can get them in touch with Ross Coulthart. This is a platform for people to speak in technical terms and get really into the nitty-gritty and details. This is a platform specifically, there's people who are scientists working on government reverse engineering programs. They're not going to want to talk to Fox News. They're not going to want to talk to Ross Coulthart. They're going to want to talk to their people. And so what we've done is create a platform for these people. So you want to talk about, these guys can go on these mainstream programs and talk about intelligence and the intelligence community and all this stuff all they want, but if you're if you're not speaking technical terms, man, then you're not speaking real intelligence, and what's the point of that? That's not what we're interested in. We want real intelligence. We don't want pseudo disclosure. We don't want fake disclosure. We want real disclosure and real information. So encourage people to register for the conference, guys. Thanks for watching. And it's interesting that this guy says about the super heavy elements and the isotope. It sounds a lot like Bob Lazar. Yes, exactly. What we need is actionable information, actionable intel that we can use to do something with. Otherwise, what's the matter? I mean, who cares? Anyways, that's all I have time for tonight. I just wanted to make it really, really quick and short and to the point. So yeah, it's too convenient. It got too popular too fast, and he doesn't have enough evidence and information. And it almost looks like the point of it would be to if I was going to run a psy-op, I'd bring out a guy like this, and again, you build up the hope, and then you crash it over and over and over again, and that will kill people's morale and motivation to move forward. Definitely a COINTELPRO tactic the FBI was using against the civil rights movement in the 60s. I mean, just do the research. It's all there, brothers. Let's keep on moving on and stick to the science, stick to the actionable intelligence, stay skeptical, and preserve, and we'll move on. And disclosure is happening as we speak, and we've already gotten scientists who've worked in these programs. We've got guys from Boeing. We have Ronald Evans of Project Greenglow over in the UK working at Porton Down, which is the UK's Area 51, Britain's Area 51. We've gotten Area 51 people and scientists to come forward and speak already. And now it's only a matter of time till more come out. And we're encouraging, people who see this movement, there's momentum building, obviously, in Congress, in the government, and also within the community and the public for disclosure. And if there was ever a time, now is the time. And we're just encouraging people, yes, put all your stuff together in an awesome Google Slides or another slide program or whatever have you. And also, I'm going to put together a drop folder too that people can just drop files to. We're going to have just a Dropbox. On the other thing too, before I go, one last thing. The press club. Whoa, so where is it? This is where's Greer? Greer's doing the press club. No, hold up. Here it is. So tomorrow, June 12th, 2023, Dr. Stephen Greer is doing another National Press Club event in Washington, D.C. The last one they did was in 2001, in June 2001, right? Shortly before 9/11. So they did this big conference. Over like 200 witnesses came forward to testify about these government UFO programs. And what happened? What happened to it? Well, what happened to it is before momentum could really build for disclosure in the government and everything, 9/11 happened. And we were suddenly doing exactly what Disclosure Project witness Carol Rosen testified would happen, that she was told by Werner von Braun, one of the top NASA scientists from Operation Paperclip, who was one of these Rand Corporation think tank guys. He used to sit on all these Rand Corp think tanks, so he got the inside scoop on what all the government think tanks were talking about and doing and planning. And told Carol that, hey, the first thing is going to be the communists, and once the communist threat and all that runs out, they're going to start with the terrorists, and it's going to be terrorists, and you're going to be fighting war on terror. And then after that, you're going to be the fake alien invasion. That's the final card, is the fake alien invasion. So just a lot of people talking on the down low about this press conference here, because the last press conference we had was in June of 2001. And then in September 2001, we had 9/11 happen, which just derailed the whole Disclosure Project movement for about a decade. And things really went silent, didn't take off again until just, a couple of years ago, for, 2017 or so. So now a lot of people are predicting that Bluebeam is going to happen, or the next step is going to happen soon after this, because a lot of momentum is building, and we'll see what to make of this, because there was a lot of Disclosure Project witnesses that I did not find credible at the last hearing, the last press club event. And so I'm interested to hear more credible people with more actionable intelligence speak, and that's all we're really looking for here. And we don't want to naysay or discourage people from that at all, because there's enough skeptics and naysayers and others out there doing that already. All right, so Yeah, I'm about to go to sleep. I just wanted to do a stream and talk about this guy. So here, why don't you join and we can hang out and talk. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.